Hello one, hello all, it is the gothiest ghost of them all, Caspa in the flesh, and it's time for a review of Slowthai, Ugly. Slowthai is a UK artist, and this is his third studio album. And I call him an artist because he has proven he's more than a rapper. Like, he started off as a rapper with the fusions of post-punk on some tracks, but mostly you got your grime tracks, your trap tracks, with politically charged lyrics and very introspective and personal lyrics on Nothing Great About Britain, which was done extremely well and definitely one of my favorite albums of that year. And then you had Tyron, which was another one of my favorite albums the year of that year it came out. I felt like we were getting two sides of Slowthai. We were getting the banger side and we were getting the introspective, personal side. And very emotional side too. This time around, we are just getting like Slowthai unleashed on here. He is unleashed and he is bringing UK hip-hop fused with post-punk, synth-punk, dance punk, dare I say a little bit of digital hardcore, dare I say, an industrial, and just bring something new to the genre. And I know Slowthai is not like a mainstream artist in America, but I could honestly say, and truly honestly say, if you were to put this in the mainstream, which I don't know if it fit, or maybe, I mean, T-Pab is mainstream and it's very powerful and introspective. However, I would say this is the best blend I have probably heard by far. And with the sounds of these tracks, how crushed he sounds on some of these tracks, I could honestly say with the defiance and unapologetically expressive vocals and the lyrics on here, it's really no mystery why. I certainly do think he wears his influences on his sleeve, but he does it in a way where it's like Damon Albarn, Death Grips, Muse, Pixies. Wait, did I say Muse? I meant Radiohead. I'm sorry. And don't no we're gonna get one thing straight. Radiohead is goated and Muse tries to copy Radiohead. So let's just get that out of the way. Okay. But yeah, it just feels like they just let him in the studio, just do his own thing, pour his heart out, and drinking the blood that he's spitting out while doing a DX crotch chop. That is the vibe here. With their style of production. And as far as the features go, there are none. There's none on these like whatsoever. Ironically, the opening title track, with this being like a battle with himself and with the world, the fact that the title track opens up with toy soldiers in lines falling like dominoes, like, truly lets you know what direction this album's going in. This is pretty much like his Me Against the World album in concept. And while I'm saying like Me Against the World, he's saying like the world is like ugly, due to greed, due to conditioning, due to the capitalistic society that this world has become. And he's realizing he's just a pawn in this game, like, called life, and the trauma that comes with it. And he's just lashing out, and he's really emoting here, like, straight from the heart. And just going at the system without sounding too preachy. And the way things are going, I would definitely say it's necessary. I also want to add too that it doesn't feel like Slowthai is trying something different for a cash grab here, and it doesn't sound focus grouped. Like, it really sounds like he has love and admiration for the genre. And he's also studied it, and he has the raw emotion and admiration to really, really pull this off, like, of a genre that he loves. Genres that he loves, because he does take on, like, numerous genres here. It's not a very long album either. It's just under 35 minutes. And we are just getting the most compelling experience here, straight from the heart and the darkest corners of Slowthai's mind. Most of the songs here range from, like, tortured to these driving grooves, like, where we're getting a detour of the harsh, grimy realities that Thai's mind is consuming. Just putting songs out there that just feel very unsettling and dismal. It feels like this album is just the epitome of, this is it, this is the end, and just completely going off the rails. Now, I will say this though, you do get one feel-good song on here, because this is not a feel-good album, but you do get one feel-good song on here, and ironically the name of the song is Feel Good. And it definitely reminds me of Gorillaz in a way. And trust me, with everything going on here, with all the torment and anguish you're going to experience here, trust me, this track is necessary. And it's a great track too. The song Selfish, I would probably say, is one of the most hard-hitting, grimy, bassy bangers I've probably heard all year, and probably going to make one of my songs of the year. That you will hear out of the UK this year, with its ghostly melodies, droning, buzzing bass, where Thai is just looking in, like, utter resentment of the world that he sees, how fake the world is, how greedy the world is, and he's just thinking for himself, and he's just responding aggressively to the people who want to be in his shoes and that are envying him. And he's just tired of the facade. He's tired of the pandering to get on, but is saying to them, like, this life isn't exactly like what it's cracked up to be. Like, you're pretty much looking at, like, the smoke and mirrors here. And I love the bars here, like, a scary sight of Halloween. I got a few tricks so we can get a treat. The victory all come from defeats. Like, with these triumphant choral vocals in the back, just give it that climactic ending. The majority of the album is basically built off of, like, Thai's mental health and the tragedies he's faced, the internal struggles that plague him. Like on the song Falling, it's about, like, the devastating feeling of falling and slipping into the feeling of numbness and isolation, just drifting into space with these chilling, throat-shredding screams that he just adds here. And Thai is definitely an open book here. Like, the deeper this track, the deeper the album goes, the traumatic the chapters in his life become. Like on the song Never Again, which is a tragic, heart-wrenching story of a past lover he had, and she's moved on, she's found another love interest, but they still love each other, and they just have this undying love. And I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but it is very, very heartbreaking, and very tear-inducing too. And with Thai being such, like, a theatrical poet on here, a very compelling storyteller and vocalist, you could just feel it. You could feel it on here. And Slowthai also reports on conditions from outside of his life on What's Funny, that has one of the most catchy banger type hooks on here. I mean, it's kind of another banger, I mean, in terms of the hook, but not something you would play in a club, honestly. Like, about this mother who's, like, overworked with 3 kids, who is living in poverty and has barely the money for food, medicine for when they're sick, and this problematic bully, and a teacher who's addicted to drugs and goes MIA from the class. And the kids asking, like, where's the teacher? Where's his whereabouts? And the hook here is just so raw, it's so punk, it's so catchy, it kicks ass. What's funny? Oi, oi, what's funny? Oi, oi. Yeah, like, it bangs. It bangs. Also, another song, too, I want to mention, too, is a song, Tourniquet, which has this instrumentation of, like Faith No More, like, I would say Angel Dust, Faith No More, with the inclusion of, like, Ty's mental breakdown on here from just feeling like a wrecking ball of connections in his life and how it's a cycle he just can't break. And he just wants to elevate himself from it. And I would say that in this predicament, I feel like admitting to yourself that passionately expressing to yourself that this is a cycle that I can't get out of and I need to break. Like, this is definitely a form of therapy through your art. And I 100% appreciate it. I 100% support it. And I feel it's the best thing you could do, along with getting professional therapy as well. Let's not get carried away here. The track Yum is a great opener. It sets up the album really well. Goes into like these futuristic Terminator industrial production with these revving drums, like these synths that just have a lot of bass to them. I love how there's like a little bit of distortion on it as like the track goes on. And it just turns into like this pounding rhythm. It kind of reminds me of 9 Inch Nails a little bit, like 9 Inch Nails like dance like beat with these super bizarre like modulated samples that sound like something out of like Death Grips. The track just has these like confessional bars of just lacking motivation, lacking innovation, and just needing an intervention. And it features a conversation between like him and his therapist and the remedy he prescribes to him. However, the advice he gives him just like infuriates him more, and he just seeks out drugs and sex as a way of coping, as a way of dealing with the internal pain that he has. And Jesus, his vocals on here, his vocal performance is insane, just like hyperventilating over this thing. And these like I mentioned earlier, like these modulated, glitchy vocals sounding like Death Grips in a way, and screaming his absolute brains out at the end of the track, like he went Super Saiyan or something. Or maybe he did go Super Saiyan, I don't know, because he is kicking ass all over the place on this album. And it pretty much paints a picture of Ty's mindset and what type of conceptual themes you're going to be in for. Like the type of harrowing experiences that's going to come your way and be shared here. And when it comes to production, as I alluded to, it kicks ass. I like the production. I feel like it has a lot of variation in terms of tone, in terms of mood. I think the production of like the somber guitar strumming coalesces well with the gorgeous piano keys and faint ghost melodies in the background, creating this another layer of instrumentation. The song Happy has these driving guitar lines and a gorgeous sunburned synths, set of sunburned synths on the back end, and are beautiful, and the blazing guitars across the track are great. Going back to the song Falling, like the instrumentation just sounds like the soundtrack to Falling in slow motion, and with these shrill guitar arpeggios just emulating what it would be like to hear like the screams of you falling as you're going down into this abyss of like absolute deprivation and hopelessness. And Ty's like tormented vocal performance on here just adds so much to the salt of this gaping emotional wound. And I would say, like, if I had gripes on here, I would say fuck Puppet. I dig the idea of having conversation with yourself at a track. I feel like it draws a narrative to the album. I just wish it was longer. And the track Sooner has like these goofy, thrown in samples I did not care for. I don't think they complement the track that much. And the vocals on the hook are kind of grating. But other than that, great album. As I said earlier, it gives like rap, like the crossover that it much deserved. And with this album just being so compelling and such a ride and such a range of emotions, and Ty just coming through confessional and giving us just this raw emotion all through and giving us various production and just trying out different things, and great writing, great storytelling, and great messaging on here. I just think this may very well be not only the best crossover of the punk and rock and rap coalition. Can I say coalition? Coalescing, I'm sorry. That I've probably ever heard. Or, I don't know, maybe more jewelry. Okay, I would say more jewelry and then this one. Yeah, we'll go with that. And I'm feeling the blackest of 4 out of 5 hearts on this album. Loved it. If you've given it a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Caspa, Gothic Ghost, Slowthai, Ugly. Till we meet again.